The Cuda is going to carry a whole lot of thunder. If you're going to create a storm, you got to install the strength and stability that'll carry you through it.
The K-member for Goodmark 70 Cuda has finally arrived from Pennsylvania, and I can hardly stand the suspension. Do you see how this works?
It's pretty trick, actually.
Yeah.
So the thing we're going to do is get ready for trial fit. So even though this stuff's been put together, we're going to go ahead and start trial fitting it this morning, but we have to take some stuff off the frame before we put it on.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Other than this part, this is the only thing I remember about how this goes together.
There were some stock bump stops and sheet metal parts that were welded onto the chassis that we had to take off, drill out spot welds, cut off to make clearance for the K-member.
A completely re-engineered front suspension means smoother lines are possible.
I had to separate both the droop and bump stop brackets with a torch because they had a welded joint. That way I could remove one before the other. Lots of spot weld content makes them hard to get off. One of my favorite tools is a hammer. We have hammers for everything, and I'm happiest when I'm swinging away on steel.
Paul may prefer coming to blows to get this frame to comply, but a little heat can also get unwanted components to cooperate. Not that a few good swings won't get the job done. This job needs every tactic available. Drills, chisels, pry bars, and grinders all come into play. This is why you buy that big toolbox. Our smooth strategy isn't just for the frame. The dash will get a sleek upgrade too.
We're not going to smoke in our new car, and no need to have an ashtray in there. It's kind of a big, ugly piece. So I cut out a pattern and transferred it over to metal and rolled it and filed and all the different things there to get it to fit into the opening.
With the butt tray permanently dumped, can cup holder delete be far off?
Removing the existing K-member, the mock-up K-member that was in the car was pretty simple. It's 4 bolts. Drops out of the bottom, no problem. So we dropped that one out.
The mock-up member ensured support and alignment stayed accurate during earlier rough work. Its job is done.
When the K-member was still on the table, we had installed the front rack into it, and which is the side-to-side steering.
Overall, the suspension may be re-engineered, but some elements are old, reliable components. The dependability of a traditional rack provides a solid foundation to ensure improved handling. Anyone who has ever driven an original Cuda will tell you these cars handled great in a straight line. That reputation is about to turn a corner with ease.
Once we got the rack on, went on to the upper control arms, lower control arms, torsion bars, the pork chops, the levers, the links, the shocks, the sway bar, and the rest of the hardware to get all the suspension on the car, the spindles or uprights, rotors, calipers, all the bits.
Most of that is common in all vehicles except the pork chop. Was it lunchtime already?
Looking at the pieces, I believe that it was well thought out. They spent their time doing homework. I know that the suspension system has seen track time and testing, and it's seen some development. So I think that looking at the parts, a lot of it kind of a hybrid between street and race hardware, the brakes especially, all the links and the rod ends and such. I think they had everything lined out real well, the correct choice of hardware, the correct choice of parts, and it showed in the assembly.
The Wilwood stopping system is a direct bolt-on. Slotted and ported means hard stops will be handled easily, over and over.
Took the brakes out of the box for the first time. Some serious race hardware. That's what these brakes are. That's what they're intended for. A lot of stopping power.
And the quick change caliper pad system makes servicing a piece of cake.
That is one serious suspension that's going to help put 800+ horses to the ground.